Good. There it goes. Get there.
We are here, as you can see, at St. Joseph Academy to speak with head football coach Brannon Tidwell in his glorious House of Gains.
Absolutely.
We're going to preview week 2 of the high school football playoffs because St. Joseph and Bartram Trail are the last 2 in St. Johns County remaining. So, Coach Tidwell, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. And what is this creature that we have here?
It's a dead cat. I don't know if it's PETA appropriate, but here we are.
Hey, I love it though, and thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming and all that you do for all of our schools in the area.
Thank you. So we have a couple questions because you all, for the first time in your 92-year football history, won a high school football playoff game.
Yes.
So describe just the accomplishment for your guys to go all the way to Monticello and pull off a big win.
You got to go back to a year ago, right over here on this field, and a lot of people were there and witnessed the beating that we ended up taking to Taylor County, a more established program, a team who won the 2001 state championship over Clewiston back when it was in Tallahassee. So they have a lot of tradition. And when we left that game, I told our coaches, I said, that cannot happen again. And even though we had such a great season, it was phenomenal. Went 9-0 a year ago. We were not tested and ready for a game like that. So I said, what can we do to even though we might get uncomfortable, we might take some losses, how can we prepare ourselves to win a playoff game? Because St. Joe's had some good years in the past, but they're 0-4 all time, 92 years and winning a state playoff game. So what can we do? Well, we can go play Keystone because they're physical. We can go play Interlochen because they run well. We can go play Hilliard because they play together. So we just went through our schedule and played Cocoa Beach and teams like that just to get us ready for a game what we played the other day. And Osceola hadn't trailed all year. They're 9-0. They averaged 300 yards rushing a game and very well coached. And we didn't flinch. We were down 7-2 right before half. Took the lead, went up 8-7, and the rest is history. We're up 34-14 with, they scored with about 20 seconds to go. So I think all of that prepared us for the game last week.
And now you all have another big trip ahead of you to Maclay. They are 8-2. They'd won 8 straight at one point this season, and they're averaging 41 points a game, and you all are averaging giving up 17 points a game. So it's going to be strength on strength with your defense against their offense. Yeah. Discuss the challenge that their offense is going to provide against,
they're good. They scored 69 points on Mayo, and Mayo's 9-1.
Yes.
I think that was their only loss of the year. It was to Maclay, and Maclay had the big win over NFC this year. So they have a lot of talent. Their wideout number 1's a 6'3", he's a track kid. He can fly. So if he gets the ball in his hands in open field, he's gone. But it's funny. Our defense is good. We're one of the top in the area with total yards. I think we give up 153 yards a game. And if you told our defense to stand up, you wouldn't be able to tell who the D linemen were from the linebackers and the DBs. You couldn't come in and say, all right, that guy's a DB and he's a linebacker and he's a D lineman. So and I learned that from Rick Darlington at Apopka. The best defense I ever saw in high school football was the 01 Apopka football team. It's weird, twice tonight, 2001. So they were and their heaviest guy was 196 pounds. And I was like, all right, how did you do it? And he goes, we were so fast. It made up for the size because it's hard to block a fast guy. So we've got guys who play wideout on our D line, but they're quick and they run around. So it should be a good matchup for us. Their quarterback's great. Their running back's a freshman. Number 1's a big time player, and their scheme's really good. They do a lot offensively.
You mentioned that 2001 Apopka team. I'm sure someone in your secondary is going to start thinking he's Brandon Merriweather 2.0.
That's why I like you, Will. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. They had a good team, and they ended up beating Northwestern to win the state championship that year. So I've learned a lot and been around a lot of good people. And Rick Darlington. I didn't work for Rick, but in Valdosta when we were head coaches, we got to know each other. So he's a stud.
So I know we've spoken about Maclay a lot, but again, St. Joseph is traveling to Tallahassee Maclay on Friday night for a Region 1 2A quarterfinal. The other local team here in St. Johns County that is still in the playoffs is Bartram Trail. They host Apopka.
Not the 2001.
No.
19 version.
The 19 version.
Yes.
In the Region 1 8A semifinals, the Bears are undefeated. Apopka is 9-1. That should be a good one up in St. John's. But as for you all and this team, I wanted to ask you to kind of conclude with this. We've spoken about this before, but describe how this team has made progress throughout the season? Because you've talked about the process of being uncomfortable, but how much do you think that being uncomfortable has allowed you all to get to this point where you're 5-5, have won your first playoff game in school history, and have a chance to go to a Maclay team that the last time they stepped on the field, they lost by 5 touchdowns?
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to help them in a way because it's going to get them refocused, talking to their coach. But one thing about us, and I told our kids, even the Oak Hall loss, it was 7-7.5, and it was 14-all at one point. So we have not lost you get concerned as a coach if you get blown out, right? You lose by 40 points, you're like, all right, we got us a problem. But that hasn't happened. Like even the 24-9 Hilliard loss, it was 9-6 us in the fourth, and they went up 12-9, and then we had to go for it twice inside of our 5 just to try to come back, and they scored 2 late touchdowns. So there hasn't been any game that we've really been out of the game. So I think those games have just really helped us, just help prepare us for these moments that we're in right now. And like you said, the uncomfortable thing is what it takes sometimes before you do get comfortable. And I'm just glad we're playing our best football at this time right now, which is what you want to do. You don't want to start hot and fizzle out. You want to make sure that, because when I look at our team, I'm like, all right, the DBs are good, and the O-line's got some promise, and the quarterback throws it well, and we got some good skill, but we never was able to put it together. So I think right now we're able to put it together, and both sides of the ball are playing really well.
Well, best of luck on Friday night. Again, this is Coach Brannon Tidwell at St. Joseph Academy. They head to Tallahassee Maclay on Friday night to face the Marauders, who are 8-2 in a Region 1 2A semifinal. That game is at 7:30 at the Maclay School. And then here at home in St. Johns County, Bartram Trail, who is undefeated at 11-0, is hosting 9-1 Apopka on Friday night at 7:30. Go catch a game, follow along on radio or Twitter or somewhere, but support these local schools, and we will catch you right back here for the Week 3 playoff preview. Thanks so much for joining us.
Go Flashes.